Morning, students. So, in organ system, we shall start our topic with liver. Okay. So, in digestive system, we have seen various parts. So, liver is the largest digestive gland of the body, which is reddish brown in color. Okay. So, liver does many functions in our digestive system. So, liver is the largest digestive gland. Okay. It is reddish brown in color. It is divided into two main lobes, that is right and left. And on the under surface of the liver, gallbladder is present. The liver cells secrete biles which are temporarily stored in the gallbladder. Bile released in small intestine when food enters it, it has bile salt, that is it is having sodium glycolate and sodium glycolate, and bile pigments are present in this bile juice. So and the bile salt helps in digestion of fat by bringing about their emulsification, that is it converts the large fat droplets into smaller ones. So this is done by the help of the liver. So what is the function? So function of liver means it controls the blood sugar and amino acids, and it synthesizes the fetal reddish blood cells. It produces fibrinogens and prothrombin used for clotting of blood. It destroys the red blood cells, stores iron, copper, vitamin A and D. When we say about its function, it also helps in the productions of heparin. So heparin is an anticoagulant. It makes the bloods to coagulate. Then it excretes the toxics and the metabolic poisons from the body or from the blood. It detoxifies the substance included drugs and alcohol. It also detoxifies the substance present in the drugs and alcohol. So these are the functions of the liver. So next let's see about pancreas. So pancreas is a lobed leaf-like gland situated between the stomach and the duodenum. So we have seen the parts of the small intestine, duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So this pancreas is present in the lobe of the duodenum. So it is a gland. It is also termed as exo and endocrine gland. This pancreas secretes a juice called as the pancreatic juice, which contains three enzymes, that is lipase, trypsin and amylase. So these acts on fats and proteins and starch respectively. So they makes them into a small components. Then this gland's upper surface bears the islets of Langerhans, which has endocrine cells and secretes hormones which is necessary for the body, that is they are having alpha and beta cells. So alpha cell secretes glucagon and beta cell secretes insulin. So what's the main activity of this in intestinal juice? So we said we already know that pancreas is secreting a pancreatic juice. So this juice is called as the succus entericus. Okay, succus entericus, which contains enzymes like maltose, lactase and sucrose and also lipase, and they involves in food in slow down movement into the ileum. So they digest it and makes them to move slowly into the ileum where the food is digested, get absorbed. So in the ileum we have already seen it has villi which absorbs the food. So observation food, assimilation of food all takes place with respect of this pancreatic juice. First absorption. So when the food enter into it, the villi will absorbs the food materials required for it. Then assimilation. Assimilation means incorporation of the absorbed food materials into the tissue cells as an internal and homologous component. So this is done in the villi. Then excess fats are stored in the adipose tissues. Then we are in pancreas, what it does means the excess sugars are converted into a complex polysaccharide. So with the help of this digestive juices, they are converting. So when it moves through the stomach, it is seen in the duodenum, and then the next step it has to move to the jejunum and ileum. So here the excess sugars are also converted into polysaccharides, glucagon in the liver. Then liver it is taking place. The amino acids are utilized by synthesizing the different protein requests for the body. So these are taking place with the help of the pancreas present near the duodenum. Next, let's see about the large intestine. So when we say about large intestine, the large intestine is having three parts, namely cecum, colon and rectum. Okay. So yeah, unabsorption and undigested food is passing. Now the wanted material are absorbed and digested. The remaining unabsorbed and undigested food pass through the large intestine. It extends from the ileum towards the anus and it is about 1.5 meter in length. So now it's moving towards the other membranes. So when we say about the cecum, cecum is the small bending pouch like structures situated in the junction of the small intestine and large intestine. It is the blinded and finger-like structures called as the vermiform appendix appears. So this vestigial organ, this is an organ in human being which is not giving any function. So they are called as a functionless organ. So our vestigial organ. Next comes the colon. When we say about the digestive system, we have already told it is having three parts, cecum, colon and rectum. So next comes the colon. The colon is much broader than the ileum and it passes up to the abdomen on the right side, cross to the left just below the stomach and down and left side, the rectum. So next we have to see about the rectum. So rectum is the larger part which opens into the anus. It is kept closed by a ring of muscles called as the anal sphincters. So which opens then passing the stools. The waste materials are passed through this membrane. The undigested and unassimilated portions of the indigested food materials are thrown down from the body through this anus apertures or as a fecal matter. This is known as the ejection or defecation. So that's all about large intestine. So large intestines, it is having three parts, cecum, colon and rectum. So this area does only the removal of the unabsorbed and undigested food. So that's all about large intestine. So remaining, so within this we have completed about digestive system. On the whole, digestive system is completed. So next class we can see about the excretory system. Thank you students.